What's up YouTube, it's Ryan from AnnihilatorMTG here, and I'm back again with some more Modern. Today we're going to be playing some more Grixis Control. With Uro being banned in the format, Grixis has a significantly easier time, especially when it comes to deck construction. The first big change that we're going to be seeing today is the return of Thought Scour paired with Drowned in the Loch. Being able to play what is essentially a modal counterspell and a removal spell is absurd. The opportunity cost of having to fill the opponent's graveyard is way less relevant now that Uro was gone, but with that said, we're not going to be countering any Karn Liberateds anytime soon. The second change is the inclusion of the ever hard to pronounce Kalitas in the main board. This card is incredible right now due to the influx of creature heavy builds. When your removal spells turn into zombies, you're bound to have a good time. Finally, it's worth noting that we are sticking with the blue heavy approach to Grixis by including the usual suspects in Archmage's Charm, Force of Negation, and Cryptic Command. We are opting out of running Jace, but that's more of an experiment than anything else. All in all, I feel like Grixis is in a really good place right now, so let's head into the first match and see how we perform. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent here. Best of luck to you, my friend. And we won the die roll. Nice. We could definitely keep this hand for sure. I love the Spell Snare, love the Scour. We can definitely get there with this. Looks like our opponent went down to 6. That's good. Let's go for the Bloodstained Mire. We'll hard pass. Our opponent goes for a Hollowed Fountain tapped. That's fun. Wonder if this is just blue-white or maybe some kind of 4-color or Jeskai or something. Let's fetch and get a Watery Grave. Let's go for the Thought Scour. We see a Force of Negation on our side, and they have a Deprive. Whoa. We see a Watery Grave. That's excellent news. Let's go for the Sulfur Falls. Our opponent draws for turn. They go for an island, and it looks like they pass. We draw for turn. Let's go for the Watery Grave. Untapped. And now if nothing happens during our opponent's end step, we can just go for the Snap Thought Scour. They go for a Flagstones, and it looks like they're passing. Okay. Well, fine by me. Let's go for the Snap. We target the Thought Scour, choose them, and we hit a Flooded Strand at a Plains, getting a Lightning Bolt. Nice. We see another Snap. That's pretty cool. Let's go for an Island, and then we're going to move to combat. We swing in, got them down to 18, and we'll pass. Looks like they're paying costs. They're going for the Shark Typhoon. They could have blocked, which is odd, but they chose not to. Let's bolt it then. They draw for turn. Let's see if they have a 4th land. And we see it's a fairy. It's fun. Let's just go Hardcast Force. And that looks like stuck on 3 lands. Okay, so we draw for turn, see what we get. Get a Catacomb, that's excellent. So now we can go Snap Force. We'll swing in for 2, this will take them down to 16. If they don't get a land on their next turn, it's probably just over. It's not that we're particularly good or whatever, it's just this type of disparity, especially in a control mirror. It's rough, man. They go for the Flagstones, sacking one of them in the process. That's pretty creative. Getting a Triome. So they ain't gonna like this, I'll tell you that much. We're gonna go return the Triome to their hand and draw. They go for the big Logic Knot. That's fine. We'll hit no. So we got that out of their hand at the very least. We draw for turn. Tar Pit. Nice. We'll move in for an attack. Take them down to 14. We pass. They draw. They've got 6 cards in hand. Now they've got a Scalding Tarn. So things are coming together for them slowly but surely. We untap. All right. We see a Steam Vents. That's pretty good. Let's play that untapped. Then we're going to move in for an attack. Playing it untapped allows us to go Snap Cryptic with Spell Snare backup. They're paying costs. They go for the Lightning Bolt. It's all right. We got in a couple of good attacks. Can't complain. They crack the Scalding Tarn, finding a Steam Vents in the process. All right. They're down to 13 life total, which is, you know, not super low, not super high. They're just passing. We draw for turn, get a Bloodstained Mire. I still honestly think we're probably just better off passing. We could go for a Tar Pit, but they've got so much mana. They could easily just take it out. They're gonna go for a Snapcaster Mage. Let's hit it with a Spell Snare. They go Force pitching a Tail's End. No, just no. That's insane. Well, you get a Snap, I guess. Then they go for the Bolt. We're down to 10. They swing in for an attack. Let's go crack the Bloodstained Mire. Just get a Mountain here. Do we even care enough? I don't think we do, actually. I think we're just gonna let that through. We're down to 7. They go for a Scalding Tarn. It's good for us. It means they're somewhat limited. We untap. We draw a Tar Pit. That's good. A little redundancy never hurt. Let's go for a Dreadbore. That resolves. So I think we're just going to pass here. Hold up the Snap plus Cryptic Command. That's pretty compelling. We pass. They draw. See if they have a land. They're tapping for something. They're going 3 mana to Fairy. We might as well give it a shot. Let's go Snap. We choose Cryptic Command. We're going to go old school here. Let's do Counter Return. I doubt this is going to resolve, but if it does, that's nutty. They crack the Scalding Tarn, and they go Force of Negation. Sure. There's only so much you can do with the Teferi. They uptick. We draw for turn. We get an island. All right, I think the big question here is how do we want to distribute what goes where? I think probably the best thing we could do is send about 3 damage at the Teferi and then the rest at them, because we don't want them to be able to draw extra cards. That's a huge problem. We could just kill the Teferi outright, but I don't really see it as that big of a threat in terms of the plus. So I think we're just going to swing in like this. Maybe they can uptick with Teferi and then hit us with like a huge Supreme Verdict. That would be really bad at instant speed. But I mean, outside of that particular instance, I don't really see how we're all that scared. So they uptick and they're passing. Now they've got to have something. We draw. Now that's a good card. It's probably better for us to just go for it. We animate. We'll swing everybody at them. They're paying costs. They go path to get a swamp. Then that's a clean 5 damage. That means bolt or snap kills, which is pretty great. They draw for turn. They choose to uptick instead of drawing. That's not great for us. But they basically need a board wipe or 2 removal spells. We draw for turn, getting a charm. Let's animate. I guess they could have Cryptic. That's definitely valid. And they do. They go tap draw. I think I want to do draw 2 here. We see a Cling to Dust. Let's go for it. We'll target their Cryptic. We see a K command. We'll pass in the meantime. They've got 3 cards in hand, soon to be maybe 4. They return nothing, but they draw a card and they scoop it up. Nice. So here we definitely want the disputes pretty much every time. Outside of that, I'm not really all that concerned with what they have. We can probably easily just cut the pushes and just call it fair. All right, so this hand is odd for sure. There's a huge non-bow between Sulfur Falls and Tar Pit, and it's just kind of subpar until we can get into the 3 and 4 drop range. I think we'll keep just because I hate going down on cards versus mid-range or control. Our opponent goes for the Scalding Tarn. They pass. We draw for turn, and we see a basic. All right, good stuff. This basically unlocks the hand because what we can do is go for the island on turn 2 and then the untapped Sulfur Falls on turn 3. Our opponent grabs a Triome. Then they go for the Flagstones. I wouldn't mind like a Force on top. That would be pretty good. We see Tar Pit number 2. We still go for the island though. We pass. They draw. They play a Scalding Tarn. Nothing else. That's good. We draw for turn. Duplicate copy of our Kalitas. We're going to go for the Sulfur Falls though, so we can jam the charm. They find a Steam Vents. They draw for turn. They go basic island. What I really don't want to enable them to do is go Cryptic, return our tap land or any land really. So I think I'm just going to pass. We draw for turn. Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's just play the basic. We shall pass. They go for the Shark Typhoon. Let's bolt it. We can just hold up the charm. Beautiful. They draw for turn. They go island and seemingly nothing else. Okay. Now I think it's probably safe to just go for the draw 2. And even if it's not, it doesn't matter. We kind of got to play. You know what I mean? They're paying costs. They go for the Remand. We untap and draw. We hit a Watery Grave. Let's just go for the Tar Pit for now, though. That way we can have a much more powerful turn 6. Our opponent draws for turn. And since they're not playing any lands, they must have a ton of spells. This is likely going to get countered, but we're going to try again. They go for the Snap. Sure. Remand. Okay. We see a Snapcaster Mage of our own. Let's go for the untapped Watery Grave. And I think what I want to do is just go Kalitas and then just immediately Dreadbore the Snap. This is certainly aggressive, but to me it's worth it. We get a zombie. Good stuff. So now they need to answer the board. And what's cool about that is we just have a backup. This is incredible. They're going for a Lightning Helix on our creature and then a Lightning Bolt. Wow. We draw for turn. We get a Delta. That's good for us. Let's play it and crack it immediately. Let's go for the Blood Crypt. And now we're going to go Kalitas number 2. They're paying costs. It's going to be a Logic Knot. Beautiful. Let's counter it with the Charm. We'll move to attacks. We'll swing in with a zombie, and then we'll pass. This does leave us a little bit exposed, but honestly, I like being proactive in this type of situation. They go for the 3-mana Gideon. All right. They target our Kalitas. That's fine. What I want to do here is just swing in at the Gideon with a zombie, see what happens. So far, so good. Then I want to bolt the Gideon. That's pretty productive. They draw for turn. They go Flooded Strand. They pass. We draw. We get a Charm. What's great about this is now we have Charm plus Cryptic, which is just insane. So now we're just going to attack. We already have a developed board, so we don't really need to do anything else. We drain them for 3 and then just attack normally for 2. That drain is going to be huge in a matchup like this, where every Lightning Bolt and Helix counts. This is terrifying to them. They're paying costs. They're going to go return draw. Let's go counter with a Charm. No dice. They crack the Flooded Strand, get themselves a Hollowed Fountain, tapped. They have 5 cards in hand. They're paying costs. They go for the Wildfire. Sure. We'll hit yes. Let's go, I don't know, probably Swamp. They go for the Jace. Then they go Brainstorm. Let's take the opportunity to go Snapcaster Mage. We're going to go Snap Bolt. We target the Jace. So 4 mana Brainstorm, and we have a more developed board now, which is pretty cool. We can attack for upwards of 3, 6, 10. Don't think we're necessarily going to do that with the Tar Pit unless we get another land, which we don't necessarily want right now. And we find a Snap. Good. We'll swing in with the team. We got him down to 6. We're at 21. And at this point, I feel like even if they answered the board, this would just be a terrible matchup for them in this scenario, just because of the way things are panning out. It's just not really what they're looking to do. Let's go counter draw. The Cryptic resolving here isn't really that important. I almost want it to fail. That way we can get in with like a Snap Bolt and really change the game, but it resolved. I think in this scenario, we're just going to pass. We should generally react with that Bolt if given the chance. We see a Snapcaster Mage. That's nice. So let's move on to combat. We're going to swing in with everybody, not animating the Tar Pit. They go for the Cryptic. That would be a tap draw. Hold on. What if we just let the tap draw happen? Animate the Tar Pit. Now we swing in for 3, and now they have to have a force. We go for the snap, target the bolt, and they scoop it up. GG's. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent here. Best of luck to you, my friend. And unfortunately, I'm not going to keep a 6th lander. This is certainly better. We'll keep, and we'll probably ship, I want to say the duplicate bolt. See what our opponent's playing. They go for the snow-covered island, alright, into a vial. So we could be seeing spirits, fish. I think that's about it. Let's go for the Bloodstained Mire. We'll pass. They uptick the vial. They go for the sanctum, and we see a Silvergill Adept. Okay, well, we can make that work. Let's crack the Bloodstained Mire. We'll go Steam Vents, then we bolt it. This should be a pretty good matchup. We've got plenty of ways to remove most of their creatures and the vial itself with K commands, which is incredible. And speak of the devil, let's go for the Polluted Delta in the meantime, and then we'll pass. They uptick the vial. See what we got here. Ooh, not much it seems. We draw, get an island. Excellent. We'll jam it, and now we're just going to wait. Hopefully they will activate the vial, and they do. So let's respond. Let's get our Watery Grave. Then we'll go discard, destroy artifact. We see a Spell Pierce. That's unfortunate. Is what it is. They get the vial in their dude. They get a lord. Let's see if they uptick the vial. They choose not to, of course. They draw for turn. Then we see a Spreading Seas. Let's go force pitch Cryptic. We'll hard pass. Let's see if they just jam the vial to get another lord out. If they have one, they should probably do that. They're doing it. Yep, they go Master the Waves. Or sorry, Master the Pearl Trident. We draw, hit a bolt. Tremendous. Let's bolt the Pearl Trident. Then we'll drown the lord. We pass. They go for a cavern. We'll hard pass, draw for turn, fatal push. It's a good card, but again, just more answers. We do need some way of accruing value to actually break parity. They go for the lord. Let's push it. We'll hard pass, see if they have some kind of counter. Nope. Then they go for the trickster. Even with just the trickster, they can basically take over the game, and they've got a Mutavault too. Not a good position to be in, and they are indeed running Master of Waves. Well, we'll concede. No one we've been beat. Let's go for the Angers for sure. Clings are fine, I guess, but maybe not. Even Force is great against their vials. Charms can steal the vials, so everything here is pretty well equipped, I want to say. We'll just try with the Angers. We'll go first. We see Thought Scour, double Cryptic. I don't know about that. We'll ship it back reluctantly, and this is certainly better. We'll keep, and I think we'll get rid of, I don't know, maybe the Tar Pit. We're going to jam the Bloodstained Mire and pass. Our opponent draws. They go for the Mutavault. No vial. That's good news. Let's crack it. We'll get a Steam Vents, put that in tapped. We untap and draw. We find a Snapcaster Mage. Let's go Watery Grave tapped. We're not going to just jam this for nothing. It's not worth the life loss at all. Our opponent plays an island. They go for the Chalice. All right. We draw. Let's go Watery Grave. Put that in untapped. They play a land. They animate the Mutavault. Let's wait for it to attack. Indeed. Now we're going to go destroy artifact 2 damage. They can't spell pierce because it's a 1-drop. They're going to try. Oh boy. That's fun. Nothing like the all 3 for 1, eh? We untap, drown in the Loch. That's a good start. We'll pass. They draw. Let's see if they have another land. They go for the Waterlogged Grove into a vial. Not really in the mood for that. Let's just drown the vial. You hate to do it because you'd rather it be something that can attack, but it is what it is. They're paying costs. They go for the Silvergill, show a Master of the Pearl Trident. We draw for turn, find a Charm. We'll hard pass. They go for the Lord of Atlantis. Then they swing in with a Silvergill. We're down to 14. Let's go for the Charm. We're going to try to draw 2. I assume this is going to get countered. Very nice. Unfortunately, we don't see a red source. which is not great. I think we're just going to pass, though. We can always go counter tap unless they find themselves with a cavern. They swing in. Now, here's an interesting thing. Let's go snap and then drown. And then here's the weird thing, right? I'm not even going to get the other one. I'm just going to block the Lord. We take the damage, which is fine, but this locks them into not being able to really do anything here. Because if they play a spell, I'm going to counter it. If they don't, I'm going to kill their other merfolk. So it's kind of a loss no matter what in that type of scenario. They do go for a chalice. I guess it's probably better to counter it. We untap and draw, get ourselves a cryptic. I think I'm just going to go Thought Scour on them, see what we find. Dreadbore. Let's Dreadbore the Silvergill. It dies. Oddly enough, we milled them for 2 more. We'll hard pass, nothing we can do right now. They might just do double merfolk, which would be great if we can get a red source. But they just jam a Master of Waves. Wow. It's not all that exciting. I think here we go for something like the Kalitas and just hope that they can't completely blow us out. If we can survive this turn, we'll be in a phenomenal position. They go for the Vial. That's basically blank for a couple of turns. I don't see them swinging in. Why give us the extra lifelink? It just doesn't make any sense. And they do not. They're paying costs. They go for a Merfolk Mistbinder. Sure. Love that art. We draw for turn, hit a bolt. Nice. Let's go bolt on the Lord. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing in with the lifelinker and try to bait them into blocking. Let's pay the cost. Sack the zombie. We're a 5/6 now. Beautiful. Which gives us another zombie. I don't think they've read the card. They uptick the Vial. They go blind the monster. So we get more lifelink. Then they're paying costs. They go Master the Pearl Trident. Sure. I'll take that. Let's go bolt the Master. We get another zombie. Let's swing in. And our opponent scoops it up. Nice. I think we're in a really good spot here for sure. I don't really think we change anything, so we'll resubmit. I think this hand is actually pretty good. We've got tons of removal, got some fetches, Snapcaster, we should be fine. If we can dodge a Vial, we'll be just in a phenomenal spot. Of course, as I say that, they get a Vial, so that's fine. We see a Thought Scour, sure. Luckily for us, we do have a Drowned Catacomb for a little bit of painless mana on turn 2. That'll be really helpful. That kind of thing can save you in these matchups. Really, it can. They uptick the Vial. It looked like our opponent was paying costs for a second, so maybe they misclicked, but I don't want to read into this too much, but you got to pay attention to those things on Magic Online. We go for the Steam Vents. Then we're going to go Thought Scour, target them, hit a Trickster and a Sanctum. We untap and draw, get ourselves a Drown in the Loch. Let's go Catacomb. All right, we'll pass. They activate the Vial. They go Speaker. They uptick their Vial. Let's see if they have a land. They go for the Waterlog Grove. They swing in for 1. Let's see if it gets pumped. It does not. Let's go for the Drown. Our opponent goes for the Deprive. We draw. Kalitas. All right. Good stuff there. Let's go Bolt our Dude. Let's see if they activate the Vial. They do. What do we get? A Lord. Let's crack the Delta. Let's get a Blood Crypt, actually. Then I want to go Drown. So one of the cards in hand is a land. It's important to remember. They keep their Vial at 2, so they have upwards of 4 merfolk in hand, of which they can likely play 2 of, maybe 3 if they've got some 1-drops, but that would be bad for them. We'll have to see. They're holding off, so let's go Polluted Delta. We're going to crack it immediately. There's something to be said about going just for the Kalitas and holding. If they have a Deprive, it is what it is. They could put us in a really weird position, though. We can go Bolt, Snap, Bolt. I think it might be better to wait. Sure, if we jam our creature now, we're going to maximize in a very appealing way, but it also leaves us exposed, and I don't really want to do that. They go for the Trickster. Sure. Let's go Bolt. They activate the Vial. We go Snap, and they might just concede, and then we Bolt. This is old school, man. Grixis versus Merfolk. Our opponent untaps and draws. They go Mutavault. It's a good card. They've got 2 cards in hand. We see a Spell Snare. Let's take the opportunity to just go for the Kalitas. Hopefully he doesn't get countered. He does not. Now we're just going to hold back. We have a Dreadbore in hand, which is particularly good, not to mention the Spell Snare, which will be great in terms of protecting ourselves from deprives. Our opponent does uptick the Vial. They go for their 4th land. Will we see a Master of Waves? They go blind the monster again. We drain them for 3. We untap and draw. Bloodstained Mire. Think unfortunately here we're just kind of stuck holding back. Dreadbore is not a Terminate. It's great against Planeswalkers, but it is very slow. They uptick their Vial. They go for the 2nd Mutavault. They crack their the Horizon land. Then they go for a Pithing Needle. Huh. Well, let's not get blown out here. Let's crack the Bloodstained Mire. Then let's go probably Steam Vents. Put that in tapped. I assume they're just going to choose the Kalitas, maybe Tar Pit. I'm kind of unsure about that. A lot of sideboard cards. We saw Chalice. We saw all this stuff. Yep, they choose our creature. I don't know why we would actually activate it, though, until this was taken off. We untap and draw. We get a Fatal Push. That's good. Let's move in for combat. We take them down to 13. They're going to keep their Violet 4, no doubt. They draw a card. They have 2 in hand. They go for the Mistbinder. And will they animate a Mutavault? They probably should, right? They do. Let's push it. Beautiful. So we do get a zombie token, which is pretty nice. We untap. Force of Negation. It's okay. Let's go for the Dreadbore. Target the Mistbinder. We get another token. And our opponent just scoops it up. GG's. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent here. Best of luck to you, my friend, and we won the die roll. It looks like we're playing against a Lurrus deck here, and this hand is pretty darn good. Tons of removal. We should be fine. Alright, looks like our opponent kept 7. Let's go with the Polluted Delta, and we'll pass. Our opponent draws for turn. See what they're playing. They go for a Blood Crypt. Fun. And they put that in untapped. Then we see an Inquisition. Sure. They're likely going to take either the Snap or the K command. There's next to no point in taking a Bolt here, and they do just that. Then they play a Bobble. Let's crack this. We're going to go for a Steam Vents tapped. Then we'll untap and draw. They crack the Bobble before we draw. We get a Tar Pit. Let's play it. Then we'll pass. They draw off the Bobble, which now takes them to 7 with their regular draw. Our opponent floats a black, and they go Thoughtseize. Sure. They take the Snap. Then they go for the Bloodstained Mire. Let's not get too hasty here. We're just going to pass. We see a Delta. Let's play the Sulfur Falls. This isn't necessarily going all that smoothly, but we'll try. They crack the Bloodstained Mire. They get themselves an Overgrown Tomb. Okay. A little Jund action. I like that. They draw for turn, although it's likely just Jund Shadow. They go for the Swift Spear. Feel like they're walking straight into a Bolt. They might have something. Let's go for a Bolt. All right. Easy trade, I guess. Then they go for a Blood Crypt, and they put that in tapped. So maybe not Shadow. I wonder what's going on here. So I think here we're likely going to go for the Delta. Having a Snapcaster Mage in hand is pretty convenient for sure. We pass, our opponent draws. They put the Lurrus in hand. Let's crack the Delta, get a Watery Grave, put that in tapped. We draw, Island, we'll play it. And now we have Snap K command, which is pretty great. We'll pass, they draw. They know we have a Lightning Bolt in hand, so I'm curious about what they're actually trying to do here. I mean, surely they're not just going to give up the Lurrus just for a Bobble. That's kind of insane. And that seems to be the case, oddly enough. Let's go for the Snapcaster Mage. We'll target the K command. We'll go return the Snap and 2 damage on the Lurrus. So Lurrus is down, all that for a Bobble. That was 6 mana spent over the course of 2 turns for a Bobble, which is just, I don't even know what to say about that. Either way, they pass, we draw, they have a Bobble trigger, they're back up to 7, we see another Bolt, sure. Let's go Watery Grave, untapped. All right, so we're just going to swing it with a Snap, take them down to 13. We don't know what they're doing overall, so I'm reluctant to go for the Tar Pit. Either way, looks like our opponent's playing a Tarmogoyf. All right, how do we want to do this? I think we might just do Double Bolt. It's kind of insane, but it works. We untap and draw. We see a Sunken Ruins. A little bit land heavy, but it is what it is. Let's go for the Tar Pit. I assume this is going to get pushed or bolted. We'll swing in for 5. They've got 7 cards in hand. They have to have something, right? We take them down to 8. Then they go for the push. So they're definitely playing a Shadow variant. I mean, they were playing Lurrus anyways, so it was likely a giveaway. But you don't really see Jund Shadow as much. Or at least I don't. I always see Grixis. They go for the Scourge. That's fine. And then we see a Shadow. Okay. It's getting spicy. They go for a tapped Overgrown Tomb. We untap and draw. We see a Snap. So we can go Snap Double Bolt, which is pretty gnarly. We might just have something here. Our opponent draws. They swing in with the team. We're going to block the Shadow. We're down to 12. They play a Shadow. Let's go Snap number 1 into a Bolt. We target them. They go down to 5. Now, I just assume they have some kind of push or something or Bolt. This is likely not going to happen the way we want it to, but we're trying. Get another Bolt. Take him down to 2. Now, this does mean that K command will get us there. We've already played 1, though, so that's a little bit less likely. I guess a removal spell gets us there, too, because we could just kill the untapped Shadow. We untap, draw a Force of Negation. Why in God's name would they wait? This is insane. I think they just lost because they waited. Holy smokes. All right. Well, we cast Force. I mean, I know you're maximizing value by going for the draw step K commands, but at some point you just got to go kill a snap, get your Tarmogoyf back, your Lurrus or something, and then that's just more valuable anyways. Okay. Well, I feel like we got a free one there. So in this matchup, we can very likely bring in the Gusts. We should probably cut the Forces. It's just, I mean, Force was great, right? Force was absolutely stellar there, but a Gust would have kind of done the same thing. And at least in this case, we're not 2-for-1ing ourselves, which is, you know, something you want to avoid in a mid-range matchup. So we'll just swap those two out for each other and then see how we perform. Okay, we can keep this hand. I'm not super happy with it though, but mulliganing against a butt ton of discard is just not the move. They go for the Wooded Foothills, they crack it immediately, they get a Blood Crypt, untapped, and they go for a Swift Spear. All right, nice. Then they jam a Bauble, they crack it immediately, and they swing in. They draw off the Bauble, they're at 5. We see a Delta, it's good for us. We'll play one of them and pass. Our opponent untaps. They immediately move to combat, which is a touch confusing. We're down to 17. Ooh, and is that it? No way. Crazy. We crack the Delta. Let's get a Steam Vents. We see another Delta. Let's play one of them. Now, initially, I was pretty concerned about how we were going to do against them, specifically on the draw, but I don't really see us in that much trouble here, like at all. Even if they hit us with an Inquisition, it's not really that big of a deal. Let's just go crack the Delta. Let's go Watery Grave. Now the question is, do we counter the hand attack or do we kill the Swift Spear? They can get underneath us, which is a problem, pretty easily at that. I don't know, I think I'm going to get greedy here and just counter the hand attack. This is probably super wrong. The Inquisition fizzles, they now have a 2-3, they're paying costs, they go for a bolt, they're getting aggressive, they swing in for 3, we're at 7, we see a snap. So now what we're going to do here is go K command, hit them, hit the Swift Spear. They discard a Temur Battle Rage, and the Swift Spear dies. They draw for turn. They're at 4 cards. They go for a Kroxa. Sure. Let's dump a Gust. Fine by me. We see a Tar Pit. Let's go Delta, crack it, get an island. Now we have Cryptic Mana. They draw for turn. Let's go for an end step Charm. Draw 2. We see a Cling. Incredible. Let's Cling their Kroxa. We gain some life. Yeah, now we're pretty much in the driver's seat. We see a Gust. Let's go for the Tar Pit. We'll pass. They draw for turn. They go second Blood Crypt. They put the Lurrus in hand. Now what I want to do is go Cling, target a Swift Spear. Let's go something like this. We gain some life. We untap. We find a Drowned Catacomb. Let's play it. Weirdly enough, I think what we're going to do here is actually just animate the Tar Pit and just start getting aggressive. We swing in for 3, take them down to 12. We can just hold up a Drown and counter the Lurrus. We should be fine. They go for a Bloodstained Mire. They crack it immediately. They go Overgrown Tomb. They jam the Lurrus. Let's go Drown. All right, Lurrus is gone. We untap, draw for turn, Island. Do we want to animate? I mean, probably, right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I don't like that they fetched and left 1 mana up. That just screams, hey, I have removal, and I don't like that one bit. They go for a Bauble. They crack it immediately. Then we see a Tarmogoyf. Let's go counter draw. We get a Fatal Push. Okay. We pass. They draw off the Bauble. We draw. Drown and Loch. That's good. Now we can animate with confidence. We move to combat. We swing in for 3. They go for the push. Let's drown. We see a Dismember. Sure, no problem there. So at the very least, we have a push of our own. So if they play a creature, we can just blow it up, which is kind of nice. They go for the Swift Spear. They swing in. We go push. They go Veil of Summer. Sure, I'm in. They draw off the Veil. Then we see a TBR, which is kind of insane. And we have a Kalitas. All right, I like that. I think I'm just going to jam him, and then I'm going to go Sorcery Speed Aether Gust on the Swift Spear. This almost incentivizes them to put it on the bottom, and they did just that. So now they're going to need a better removal spell other than push, unless they already have a fetch, in which case they're going to be hurting themselves anyways, so who cares? Oh, there's the fetch. We untap and draw, Thought Scour. Let's just immediately move to combat, kind of force them to do something. We swing in for 3. We drain them for 3. Well, that's a good sign. Let's Thought Scour them. Find a Bloodstained Mire. We hit 2 of their lands. Guess we'll just pass. Our opponent draws for turn, and they scoop it up. GG's. And there we have it. It seems like Grixis is definitely the place to be right now. Be it control or a more mid-ranged approach, I'm definitely happy with what I'm seeing. I'm thrilled with how well Kalitas performed. It seemed like none of our opponents were prepared at all to deal with him, although I will say I do miss the Jace, and we're going to have to find room for him in the future. I want to know what you guys think of the build. Where do you think Grixis stands right now? And if you're playing it, what seems to be working out for you? I'd love to hear about it. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This stuff really does help, so thank you. And as always, stay safe out there and have a good one.